WikiLeaks editor Julian Assange is considering running to be a British MP. He tweeted his intention as the scramble began in Westminster for the snap election due on June the 8th. Assange has been holed up in the Ecuadorian embassy in London, where he sought asylum nearly 5 years ago. From there, here's Laura Smith.
Well, we're all trying to establish whether it is, in fact, a joke, but Assange so far won't be drawn on that, and he seems to have looked into it quite carefully. I have to say that this is not a piece of election news that I thought that I would be standing here reporting this morning, and Theresa May's probably a bit surprised if she's heard about it. As you say, it began on Twitter. Assange set up a survey, and he asked his followers whether they thought that he should run. I can bring you the results of that poll now. 48% of his supporters and the respondents on Twitter thought that he should run for the UK Parliament. 31% said that they thought that he should mock them globally. I'm assuming that them is the UK government in this case. 16% though thought that he had bigger fish to fry. Then he appeared to get more serious. He looked into the legislation and he wrote a second tweet which linked to that legislation. He concluded from that since he isn't sentenced for or indeed even charged with a crime, and of course, as you say, he's a Commonwealth citizen, then he is free to run in the general election. How would it work? Well, he'd have to choose a constituency. He could go for this one, which is a pretty safe Conservative seat at the moment. He doesn't have to choose a party, though. He could run as an independent. He'd have to pay a £500 fee for registering for election, and then he could just go for it, start campaigning if he wanted to. In fact, he wouldn't even have to go to Parliament if he was elected. MPs are not obliged to attend, although they would have to attend if they wanted to vote. The question of whether Assange is joking or not is not really resolved by subsequent comments that he made. Here he is saying how fun it would be to run for election.
I'm seriously considering how much fun it might be to slap the powder off their stuck-up class-bound noses.
And the suggestion has prompted an outbreak of comment from his social media followers. Take a look.
What constituency might you stand for, Julian? Ecuador photocopying room east?
WikiLeaks' Assange trolls UK, says May run for Parliament in snap election.
I'd love to see their stupid faces. If you win, would be great.
Go on. Might wake our Parliament up.
He was granted political asylum by Ecuador and he has been inside the embassy ever since. They recognised his fear that he would be extradited to the US on espionage charges. 5 years in June he will have been here. Sweden are still considering how to proceed with their rape case against him, but nothing appears to prohibit him from running. And in fact, one last thing, he has already run for election in Australia to the Senate, and he won 42,000 votes there. In fact, more votes than one man who did get a seat in the Senate. So Theresa May, watch this space.